Sales, a job where you can grow a lucrative career in multi-platform audio, digital, podcast, social media, and local events, along with world-class training and career growth opportunities. KBLA Talk 1580, located in historic Leimert Park, is currently hiring entry-level account executives for outside sales. Join a team featuring radio hosts Tavis Smiley, Dr. Cornell West, Jesse Jackson Jr., D.L. Hughley, Dr. Nee Cordelai Corte, Zoe Williams, and our very own Dominique DePrima. For more information on attending our upcoming career fair, contact SMB at KBLA1580.com today.
Work, 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 work. Hey, now walk it out. Walk it out. Now walk it out. Southern style DJ. DJ Montana Trap. DJ Southside walk it out. We at it again, baby. Northside walk it out. Here we go. Now walk it out. 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 Now Westside walk it out. Southside walk it out. Eastside walk it out. Northside walk it out. Now hit the dance floor. Hey, bend your back low. She do it with no hands. Now stop, pop and roll. I'm smoking bubble. Yeah, they in trouble. I like the way she move. I'm undercover. Now everybody leaning. I make the crowd rock.
Happy Monday. Welcome in. You are locked in to KBLA Talk 1580 with Jill Munroe, here to give you your entertainment news update. I hope you had an amazing weekend and you were chilled out, relaxed. Maybe get a beverage and a snack and are locked in for an hour of these trending topics and headlines. So tonight, we're going to be talking about Miss Tabitha Brown. Social media is all aflutter about the DEI rollbacks. And Tabitha, you know, she's one of our favorite influencers. She is someone that we have followed her journey. And she recently spoke out about the reaction to Target being one of the companies that is rolling back their DEI stance. So we're going to get into that tonight. But of course, before we do, you know, I like to warm us up with a little conversation starters, things that you should know about that, you know, we may not get into the full story. So we talked last week about Snoop and Nelly and Soulja Boy and Rick Ross. By the way, has Rick Ross not kind of skated in all of this controversy? Nobody is really saying much about Officer Ricky over there. You know, he just celebrated his 49th birthday. One of his children's mothers is currently on a Netflix reality show, Rags to Riches, and she's buzzing in the headlines. But, you know, we kind of started and stopped with Ricky. Nobody really seemed to have too much to say about it. Andy?
Ain't nobody worried about Rick Ross.
Nobody's worried about Rick Ross?
I mean, no disrespect.
Wings.
But he doesn't have the cachet like a Snoop
But
Dogg.
Soulja Boy does? People were reacting about Soulja Boy. Maybe it's because Rick said something a little bit too, but, you know, Soulja Boy, Nelly and Snoop for sure, but the level of disdain for Soulja Boy, understanding the topic, but that he was a product of it was interesting. And Rick Ross is, you know, kind of in the cut.
They've hated Soulja Boy since day one, so I think it's like the cool thing to kind of hate on him.
Okay, that's what he said.
But Rick Ross, I hate to say it, he seems to be irrelevant in the grand scope of things.
Okay, I can see that. Well, you know, Snoop has responded over the weekend with a blunt in hand. Because it's Snoop, come on. Listening to some oldies in his vehicle. And I won't play it for you because, you know, there's a lot of dramatic pauses and looks. But basically what Snoop had to say was, I'm still a black man. Mind you, the OJ Stairway to Heaven was playing in the background as one of the songs while we're going into this. And he's like, you know, I'm still a black man. That's what the black community does. We tear each other down instead of lifting each other up. And that, you know, cancel who? Where I'm going. And he emphasized it with on Crip. On Crip twice. 2 times. So Snoop's like, stop the shenanigans, stop the game, stop the foolishness. I'm here. Where I'm going. Andy.
I mean, he didn't commit no heinous crime.
You know, and we will have to see how it all plays out. But Snoop is very much in Snoop mode and like, Find somebody else to play with.
And I'm about to go ahead and say this. This is another controversial statement.
Uh-oh.
For everybody out there that's in the stock market, you know what I'm saying, my melanated folk, you know you was damn happy when Trump became president. I'm just saying, let's not act
like there wasn't a little run there.
I'm just saying, I think, once again, speaking economically,
I mean, good for some.
Folks are
Others
happy.
we got to see. I mean, yeah. I mean, listen, this is not financial advice. But in theory, you know, defense stocks, oil, you know, things of that nature, going to be on the upside. Tech might be, it's doing very well right now, but you got to see what's going to happen with AI. There's a reason why all of those tech and AI people were there to kiss the ring, as they say.
crypto as well, too.
Crypto for sure. It's got to be illegal, right? Or morally wrong that the president had a meme coin. I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me, right? Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into this Tabitha Brown story because there's a lot of opinions on it about what we should do. And I think one thing that it points out is a lack of direction as far as the community and how we should best focus our interests. All that and more on the other side. You're locked into KBLA Talk 1580.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and Brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at WalkGoodLA. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at score.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. The Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back into KBLA Talk 1580 and Jill Munroe with your entertainment update. So I have a question for you before we get into this Tabitha Brown story. When did cancel culture start? Like, we've had people before that have said false opinions, that's not really what I mean, that have said things, put out false narratives, or had opinions that we weren't cool with, and they weren't necessarily canceled. Some people may not have been messing with them, but it seemed a great deal to, be off the radar in that manner for something like this. I bring that up and I ask that question because in the chat, our YouTube chat, which is always lit, join us, won't you? And if you want to call in at any point during this conversation, 800-920-1580. So I asked the question about cancel culture because to me, when I think about it, I feel like it started about 10, 15 years ago. Really,
2015.
2015. So yeah, around there. And the reason why I ask this is because I don't know if when people canceled Chrisette Michele, and there's a lot of talk about owing Chrisette Michele an apology for these type of things, if people literally meant for Chrisette Michele to be eradicated. I think that she was in a precarious position, whereas she was known and liked, but I wouldn't necessarily say that she had her star turn yet. And I don't think that there was a larger segment that was checking for her music. So I think that it was easy to dispose of her. I feel as though when people were saying cancel her at that time, because the term was fairly new, and I don't think it was meant in seriousness at that moment, I think there are a lot of things as social media has found its voice and people recognize that, oh, someone's taking me seriously, that it sort of changed. But I think that has a lot to do with, because I kind of don't, even though people said cancel Chrisette Michele, and obviously I don't know, and I'm sure in some type of ways it did impact her, very much so. But I also don't know how many huge things where people were lined up saying, we want Chrisette. Right? So that's one thing. But let's get into this Tabitha Brown thing. So obviously Tabitha Brown is an actress. She's an influencer, a vegan. She's taught us vegan recipes. She's everybody's favorite auntie. Right? And so we've been talking about all week the various orders that Donald Trump signed once he was enacted in office. And we know that one of them is surrounding DEI. And Target was one of the companies that happens to be on the other side of this and will be dropping their DEI program immediately. So obviously, everyone wanted to know, well, what happens to all the Black brands that are in Target? The brands that we love and support and know that we can get access to by stepping into Target. I actually have a friend who, their hair line, they have a synthetic hair braiding line that is not with chemicals, natural, doesn't leave the itch or whatever. It's called Slay Hair. It's about to drop in Target in 2 weeks. And so, people were calling for a boycott. And some felt that a boycott, at least starting in February, which is Black History Month, where our, small business owners would need our support, we would be short-sighted in starting a boycott before then. Others are like, you got to sacrifice. That's what it's about. So Tabitha Brown, she initially posted a video of her eating grapes and just kind of shaking her head, doing the we're communicating telepathically thing that we Black women do and sometimes can identify the thoughts with just the facial expressions. Black men too. But there was a lot of conversation. So then Tabitha followed it up, and we're going to hear a portion. The actual video that she made was 10 minutes long. We're not going to play all of that, but we're going to play a part of it. And she also felt as if some did not understand her point of view when she asked that please don't boycott Target. So let's hear what she had to say.
So I want to say right now, I thank you for supporting me for the last 5 years. I have worked with Target, with Walmart, with all the places that you have shopped for my products. I thank you for showing up for me. I thank you for supporting me. When you did, I thank you for showing out for me. And if you choose not to anymore, I understand that. And I still thank you and I'm grateful. But if you've heard anything that I've said today, if you still choose to show up for me, I thank you. But also showing up for others. We in it together. Okay? But either way, be clear. I understand. All right? But remember this, if you don't remember nothing else, let's not give them what they want. And what I can tell you is, if we all decide to boycott and be like, no, we're not spending no money at these organizations. Listen, I get it. And if that's how you feel, honey, I 1000% get it. But so many of us will be affected, and our sales will drop. Our business will be hurt. And if any of you know business, it doesn't just happen overnight where you can just go take all your stuff and pull it off the shelves. There's a process. And then you got to, like, where you going to put it? You got to have a place to store it. That's money, right? You got to have another place to sell it, which is almost impossible sometimes. And even if you sell online, it's a process when it comes to business. And everyone does not have the funds or the means or the availability, the space to house their own products, right?
So there's a lot happening there. I mean, she is correct. On one hand, one of the ways when we discuss business and entrepreneurship, there is often the conversation of, why do we always sell? How are we going to pass things down to our children? You know, why can't Black business stay Black owned? Listen, with any business, any access of it, you're going to need sometimes investors, aspects from other people to enhance and grow your business. She mentioned a couple of things right there as far as distribution models, because people are so quick to say, we'll take out the middleman. But there is a lot of work that goes into putting out product, output, and so forth. And there is a cost that, depending upon how their POs and payments are set up, we don't know what the upfront cost is that she has to put out. Now, I'm not saying that that ultimately means that you should not boycott Target and stand your ground. I'm just saying, consider all things that what she is talking about as far as business, how business works, how we can grow and scale at business. It's a real thing. And it is very hard to scale alone as an independent business. And a lot of the people that we point to as far as their family things didn't do that. So, you know, before we go further into this conversation, the chat is burning up. There's a lot of commentary there, but we have calls on the line. We have Forrest from Compton, right? Compton, California, CPT. What's up, Forrest? Thanks for calling in.
What's up, Jill? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm irritated a little bit. DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, is a great business model, right? Due to the fact that you're including everybody. You're not saying just white people, just Black people, just Latin people. You're including, and you want all the money to come into your store.
These are
so
facts.
why would you, why as a businessman, a business person, would you not want to do that? You see what I'm saying? And so I was sitting there and I was thinking, I said, man, I'm 60 years old, and you know, back in the Jim Crow days, I didn't live that, but my mom, I remember her talking about it because she moved out here in the 50s from Alabama. And so I was just thinking, like, who crossed the line during the boy bus count? What celebrity said, you know, I'm not down with that? You see what I'm saying? And at some point, we have to say, well, dang, you know, we've been at this for some years, and we started making some ground, and now they want to, a few people want to go back, and we're just, it seems like some of us are just saying, well, you know, it's about the money, or it's about this, or it's about that. Forget what everybody's doing. Forget about the progress that we made. Let's just, because they're paying me, or they're doing this, or they're doing that. And it frustrates me, and I don't get it. You know, why? See, with them, as dumb as Trump is, as ignorant and as dumb as the things he's doing, they know it's dumb, but they're not crossing the line. They're still sticking with the program. But for us, as soon as somebody say, oh, well, you know, they put some change in your hand, you don't want to stick to the program no more because I got money. It baffles me, man. And that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you for calling, Forrest. I think that it is unrealistic for us to say we can't focus on money because, in theory, the economic disparity is what has put us in this position. So, I mean, I know that seems short-sighted, and I'm not saying that we can't, you know, rally and do something, but to the point, who is organized? Who are we looking to in these moments, right? Currently, we don't have a one individual or one entity that seems to be leading the charge that can gather us all together. There's several entities out there. I'm not dismissing anyone, but I'm saying that it seems that collectively we aren't gathering together to have one focus and one goal. And I don't know if in this current time, with so many different things that you have to factor in, if that is even possible or realistic, but I think it hinders us. Andy?
I mean, I think collectively, right, this hurt, or, you know, whatever negative feeling you want to describe it as, that should be the unifying factor. I don't think this is a time to wait for that leader. We've waited too many times, right? We thought it was Obama, right? Hell, we thought it could have been Kamala. But the reality is, the leadership is within us. So instead of us just falling back, let's just do better.
I mean, but what does do better look like? Like, if we boycott Target, is it forever? Is it for an extended period of time? Is it for certain products? And what does that look like? I'm not opposed to it. I'm just saying, you know, how do we pull this together? While you think about that, I'm going to go to Fahima in D.C. Hey, Fahima, happy Monday. How are you?
Greetings, Jill. And I want to begin by saying I agree with Andy wholeheartedly. I mean, the fact of the matter is that many of these black companies, you can buy directly from them. And Target had a commitment for 3 years for diversity, where they were including black vendors. And I put a rhetorical question in the chat. They were having a lot of black vendors and suppliers that were applying stuff. So are they going to draw away from that? Because they got backlash for their diversity. You remember all those things where they had gotten, even some of the staff people had gotten attacked for some of their displays during Black History Month, also their support of LGBT, and so that's why they're rolling it back. So instead of boycotting, just support people that support us. And there was an effort this weekend where people actually went out to Costco's, and I'm not giving them a commercial, I'm just talking about what they did, because Costco's has refused to draw back from their commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. There was a buying spree. And so I will lastly say, BLM during the Christmas holidays, they have an Xmas where they have a listing of black companies that we can support. So instead of us doing a boycott, just support black businesses. Go out and support black businesses. There's another group that has an electric green book of black-owned businesses. So let's not boycott. Let's just support ourselves and our own. And I'll just land there.
100. I feel you on that. Andy?
I agree with Fahima, 100%.
I agree with her too. And listen, I do have a list, a partial list of companies that are not backing off on their DEI initiatives. And it should be noted that it's not just, and I don't say, it's not just about us as Black people. It is also very much as well about the gay and queer community that they are targeting as well with this. So in that, there are a lot of things at play when you think about this. A couple of the companies, Apple, Costco, like Fahima mentioned, Delta, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, American Airlines, Southwest, United. Now, we'll see if these hold to be true, but at last I checked, those were holding the line so far. When we come forward, we will have more on this topic. We're going to get into the YouTube comments, and I got a little Kevin Hart news. All that and more on the other side. You are locked in with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. News, traffic, and sports is up next.
They walk it on the east, they walk it on the west. The south side just got it, north side slapping it. In the club on the goose, big stacks, no flex. These suckers wanna try me, tell them too long dead. He walk it in his orange, steady smoking on fruits.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Tyreek Wynn with 4 things you should know with BIN News. Southern California's first major rainfall arrived over the weekend, and wet weather is expected to continue throughout the day. As a result, Los Angeles County Public Works is preparing for possible mudslides in areas scorched by the recent wildfires. Tech stocks are plunging on Wall Street. Concerns over the Chinese startup DeepSeek sparked a sell-off, with shares of Nvidia, Microsoft, and other AI-linked companies down sharply. Immigration raids are taking place in major cities around the country. The Trump administration has launched a social media thread showcasing what it calls the worst criminals arrested by immigration and customs enforcement. The NFL's biggest game of the season features a pair of familiar faces. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles will be looking for revenge against quarterback Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in a Super Bowl 57 rematch. I'm Tyreek Wynn on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
Pasadena, 210 eastbound loading up from Lincoln. Delays and stretches all the way to Buena Vista in Duarte. We're also heading out to City Terrace. 10 eastbound loading up at City Terrace Drive. You're on the brakes ahead all the way to Fraser, where a wreck is wrapping up. And Bell Gardens is still tough with a crash on the 710 southbound before Florence, blocking the left lane. The drive is solid getting away from the 60. And as you roll along the 91 freeway, this is Anaheim Hills. Delays from Weir Canyon to Green River.
Lowe's knows that with job site delivery as soon as same day, you can get what you need without losing valuable time. They help, you save. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes for same-day delivery. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A nice gesture by Golden State Warriors star Steph Curry to Lakers coach J.J. Redick. Curry gave 2 of his autographed jerseys to Redick's young sons, Knox and Kai. Redick and his family lost their home in Pacific Palisades in the wildfires 2 weeks ago. Redick's sons lost all of their sports souvenirs and merchandise in the blaze. Redick and his family have been staying in a hotel ever since. Redick said he and his family are close to finding a new place to rent. No change in the AP Top 25 Women's College Basketball poll for this week. UCLA remains number 1 at 20-0. Number 2, South Carolina, Notre Dame, number 4, USC, and number 5, Texas. By the way, UCLA and USC will play February 13th at the Galen Center on the USC campus. That game is already sold out. The roster for the LA Sparks got a boost today. They made a 3-team trade with the Las Vegas Aces and the Dallas Storm that gave them All-Star Kelsey Plum. She helped lead Las Vegas to 2 WNBA titles. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
They can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips, I am a revolutionary.
On Saturday, February 22nd, You're invited to A Night with the Panthers, a special fundraiser dedicated to supporting Black Panther veterans who now require assistance with essential needs such as medicine, food, and housing. These Black Panther veterans championed human rights, fed the hungry, educated the community, and stood as powerful symbols of resistance and resilience. Despite their incredible sacrifices, loving and serving the people did not come with retirement plans or financial security. So, now it's our time to honor their legacy and ensure that they are cared for with the dignity they deserve. You can help by attending and supporting A Night with the Panthers, Saturday, February 22nd, 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Project 43 Team Post Center, 6841 Crenshaw Boulevard, Los Angeles. For more information, contact Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. That's Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has WorkSource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewdd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
On my way to Bootsy Bello with hella though. Try and think what I'ma tell them when they get alone. I'm a glutton for women I shouldn't yearn for. Shouldn't be tempted, but baby, I like to hurt. Or maybe cause I was searching, I found me the perfect person, but me and her didn't work out. She buried what you work for. And I carry the bitterness of a cola nut. Now, Jerry and my parents never showed much. Womanizer probably could have been a feminist, cause I respect them, but Lord, I got polygamy problems. The hoodie come from Bonnie's, spending money, it's therapeutic. The way the shit, they don't think that you care to buy. So we buying Prada, Balenciaga like it is nada. And the Ferrari, my favorite's God, and tax problems. Pierre Moss, I dropped 10 on my last visit. And half that up in Saks, I favor black businesses. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yo, look. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade.
Rooting for everybody black here at KBLA Talk 1580. Welcome back in with me, Jill Munroe, and your entertainment report. first, I want to go back to our earlier music segment, Walk It Out, and say rest in peace to DJ Unk, who recently passed at the young age of 42. So want to send love and light to his family and friends.
Once again, it's a reminder. I'm speaking to myself as well. Fellas, ladies, get your health checkups, man. For real, man. Cats are dying too young.
Absolutely. Too young. So, black men, we care about y'all. Get your health checked. We care about you too, black women. Absolutely. But, you know, we're likely to live longer. Okay, so let me get into some of this YouTube chat because you guys are on fire and there's a lot of conversation happening in here. So Fahima asks, if Target is dropping their commitment to DEI, are they going to continue to support black suppliers? I mean, as long as those POs are coming for the time, I'm sure there are some products that, black or not, are okay. It's those ones maybe that we especially love or those close ones that are getting exposure. You have to remember, Target has 1,900 doors, right? So even if you put it in your local stores, is it going to have that type of reach and that type of potential to see that many customers? I don't know. We have to see. Oh, we have Leroy from Inglewood on the line. Let's get to you, Leroy. Thanks for calling in. How are you?
Greetings. Hope all is well. Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly.
First and foremost, I just want to say congratulations. You're doing an excellent job in the face of a tragic loss of a very, very beautiful sister. And I just want to thank you for keeping up the touch of excellence. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Shout out to Robin Ayers, always and forever.
That's right. Yeah, she deserves it. And then the health thing is a real thing, and that's the most important thing because our optimum health is our greatest wealth. Just briefly, I just wanted to just veggie back on what you were saying last time, veggie back on instead of focusing so heavy on boycotting in the protest sense, it makes more sense, according to Maggie Anderson, Our Black Year, Empowerment Experiment, according to Professor Amos Wilson, Blueprint for Black Power and Falsification of African Consciousness, it makes more sense to support quality black-owned businesses with our disposable income, which now is at about 3% for quality black-owned businesses by black people. If that goes up to 5 cents, we create more millionaires. If it goes up to 10 cents, then it goes where we create 1 million jobs just by spending money with quality black-owned businesses. And if we can ever get it up to a quarter, we have so much surplus that we have to get other people to work for us other than just ourselves being no longer at the bottom of the employment ladder. And that's just with us controlling our own internal markets. That's not my research. That's Maggie Anderson doing the research that confirmed that Amos Wilson was correct 10 years prior to her doing the research. And so I gave some sources. Anybody can go check it out. And I just wanted to add that to confirm what was already said. Loving our divine black self is the way to go.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that call. I mean, here's the thing. We can go to other sources, and we should. You know, I believe, most people want to veto and not vote. I say that not literally talking about voting, but overall, people would rather sit back and complain or do nothing after a decision has been made than actually take the action. So the only thing that I would question is, what is step one, right? There are, with most of these, I would hope, with most of these brands, they're also available at other places. I stand by, though, I'm not going to shortchange them, and I'm not going to ignore the fact of what having investors into your business or these large brand companies can do for Black-owned companies. We cannot scale and build to legitimately compete with those others simply on our own. We have to have some type of, collaborations, companions, and so forth in order to make it grow, in order for it to be these generational companies like we speak of. That is a fact. But we also have to show that we are serious about our voice, because we say that we're going to boycott a great number of things and then we fall off. And listen, I am not throwing a rock and hiding my hand or acting as if I'm so perfect, because I'm not. So that is why I am more of I'm a vote with my dollars or my views type of person than rather say, oh, I'm never going to do this or I'm never going to do that, because I don't know. But I just think it's something to think about, as others have been mentioned, because realistically, what is step one? And if not for us collectively, what is step one for you? Andy?
I mean, demanding excellence of yourself. I think that's step one. Brother Leroy, I felt like he said something that was very key in what he said. He talked about quality work. You know what I'm saying? And what I take from that, outside of, being a businessman, businesswoman, you should demand excellence just for yourself. Facts. And I think every else will trickle down. We're a hard group of people. And I feel like we still got a lot of healing to do before we could really boycott the way we should.
That makes sense. I'm going to get back to some more of the comments in the chat. DJ Black 909 says Tabitha Brown deserves the heat she's getting. Sometimes it's best to shut the heck up. On Crip. Pretty Brown Mimi says our ancestors boycotted the Montgomery bus line from December 1955 to December 1956. See what I'm saying? A whole year of walking, of finding alternate transportation. Are you willing to do that? Something like that? Are you willing not to get your juice from Target? I mean, those are the questions you really have to ask yourself. And for that amount of time, a significant amount of time where it really hurts, what else is in there? Nuke says boycotting against MNC won't have an impact. The impact that boycotts did in the 50s and 60s. Multinational corporation is MNC. And it is true. Things are very different currently. We need a different approach. As I mentioned last week, our playbook has been hijacked from others. So got to come with something different. I don't have the answers, but I do have questions. When we come forward more into this, and maybe we'll get into the Kevin Hart topic if there's time. All of that and more, you're locked in on KBLA Talk 1580 with Jill Munroe.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cow Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are back with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So like I said, the chat is on fire. A lot of information going through there. Pretty Brown Mimi says, we may lose money in the beginning, but we're doing this for our people. If we're going to do this, let's organize, strategize, and do this right. Who's going to organize and strategize for us? I mean, we could do it collectively in our own groups, but overall, there doesn't seem to be a consensus or an agreement in what steps should be done, if this is even viable. And then what about the creators? As Tabitha said, I know that's not popular, but the brands that you're worried about them taking out or this potentially impacting right now, you still got to support them. And it's a double-edged sword because in theory, if you're supporting them in the store, you're supporting the store. So those are the things that we have to work through. Nuke says, we're still using strategies from 60 years ago. Black politics has to update its strategies. I agree. But exactly the what, the how, and who is it appealing to? Because you have to think, Gen Z is becoming a voting age, right? There's the future. There's also that balance with political parties within ourselves. Do we focus on the youth in the future and building them up? Or do we continue to steer the ship right now and say, let us handle this. Y'all got it in a minute. I don't know. But again, there's lots of questions. There are people that are, in theory, next in line for various things, but how will they tumble out over the next 4 years? We'll have to see. DJ Black 909 says, hey, Tabitha Brown said anything like sometimes it's best to be quiet. We know what money make a person do, so just be quiet. We always got to speak. Good PR would have said, Tabitha, cool it. Well, she did this on her own on her Instagram. People were looking for commentary from her. And that is one of the things. If you are always very open and transparent with your fans, your followers, however you want to term it, you can't go silent because the road is rocky. That wouldn't be true to who she is and who she is put out there. Okera says, we don't understand root cause of a problem. What do you believe is the root cause of this problem? Yeah, there's a lot happening here in the chat. Flowers for Me said, Tabitha, you said you have two options. You can either boycott Target entirely or consciously choose to purchase only Black-owned products at Target to show your support. Love, Tabitha. And you are correct in that, but that still, even if you do that, poses the same initial problem. If you were just supporting Black-owned products, you were still supporting Target, which in theory does not hurt their bottom line. It's a reduction, perhaps, but I don't know. The Haitian Empress says, has Tabitha ever spoke up about issues until she was personally affected? I believe so. I cannot say for certain because I am not a follower of her, but I believe so. Yeah. So, and she said, thank you for the discussion. It's my first time here. Welcome in. We are happy to have you. I'm glad that you are here every Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Topics like this. Fahima says, the reality is that Target is ending their prior commitment to diversity, which means which means partnership with diverse suppliers. Ending diversity equals ending relationships with diverse suppliers. I mean, perhaps, but as I just mentioned, just recently, a friend of mine, their line is going into Target in the next 2 weeks. There hasn't been a reduction, so they're still making moves. I mean, again, if you read Project 2025, and I'm sure the people at Target did, it's not like they didn't know that this was coming, so they could have put off, for example, this brand, but they didn't. So I don't know. Haitian Empress also says, hold on, all the time we talk about black consumerism fuels MNC. Now our collective boycott will not make an impact. Which one is it? I'm not saying that it won't make an impact. I'm saying that collectively, we will not all stand in line and do that. That is my opinion. I think someone else may have said that. But Lavelle Delone says, Tabitha never said boycott, nor did she say, come buy my products. She simply laid out the facts and encouraged you to do what's right. Agreed. And everyone has to make a choice. So we will see how this all plays out, because it is an interesting one. As we mentioned, there's several other businesses. And the thing is this. If you pull back your dollars from all of these things, which is certainly an option, and I'm not mad at it, of course it takes sacrifice, but we are also very much used to convenience, as we have seen over the years. So what's your plan? How will you function? And is it for a period of time, or is it until they do right by me, like Celie said to Mr. in The Color Purple? What's the play with that? What are we doing? So leave it in the comments for me. I appreciate all the conversation. Let's get into this Kevin Hart story really quickly. So we know Kevin Hart is a media mogul. He actually probably jumped in the fray of a digital media company far earlier than most of his contemporaries that are now involved in it. But recently, it's been highlighted that Kevin has had to step in as CEO of his entertainment company, Heartbeat Productions, following the departure of the previous CEO, the CFO, and a chief content officer, all within the last 15 months. So he's also had to lay off over 20 employees. And basically, it's a reflection of what has been happening here in Hollywood and Hollywood's, I guess you could call it, an economic downturn, with the change in streaming and do you even call it fallout from the strikes that took place? So allegedly, all of the decisions were amicable, but now Kevin has to step in and not only do his acting thing, his other stuff, but he has to look at scale. He's not the only company that is led by a celebrity that is facing this as far as productions. If you look at Reese Witherspoon's Hello Sunshine, she's had to make some changes there. And LeBron James' company, Spring Hill, has also been in the face of some different things. However, with Spring Hill, they were able to do a merger and get an influx of cash that way. The interesting thing with companies like this, they're not big enough to be considered a major studio, but they're also not like an indie producer. And, they're kind of in that mid-range thing. Well, some have pointed to Kevin's sort of what they feel ego and insistence in him being the focal point of the majority of their productions. I mean, realistically, though, isn't that, as a celebrity, not saying the only thing, but isn't that part of what you want to do with your own production company? So you don't have to walk the process and you can make the type of things that you want to see yourself in and you want to see in the marketplace. But it will be interesting to see how this all unfolds and rolls through. You also have to look at that Kevin recently let go of his vegan restaurants in a short time period. People thought they were called Heart House, I believe. There was one in Westchester. There was another one in Hollywood. And they're now gone. So some are wondering what's going on with Heartbeat Productions and Kevin Hart. He is what has been considered a rock star comedian. You know, his comedy specials have consistently blown numbers out of the water as far as attendance and then the specials that have come from them. So as we watch all of these things play out in Hollywood, also keep in mind that, you know, there's content out there that we have to be mindful of as well. One more story to end out the night, and I'm just really curious what this is about to be. Last week, Popeyes, yes, we love that Popeyes chicken, and Don Julio dropped a teaser. They have some type of collaboration that is coming that we will find out about this weekend, Friday to be exact. So, of course, you know, I'll be sure and let you know exactly what it is. But I want to know, is it like a wings and tequila box? What's going on? I'm trying to figure it out. But I do think it's rather interesting. Maybe, you know how when you go to New Orleans and you go and get those slushies, those drinks, those alcoholic drinks that are like icy, maybe tequila will do something like that with Popeyes. That would be interesting, right? Anyway, listen, thanks for locking in. Make sure that you are back here tomorrow, 6 p.m. for all your trending topics and headlines, Monday through Friday with me, Jill Munroe. Up next is the voice of reason, Zoe Williams. You know, he's going to give you that heat as he does every night. I appreciate you guys locking in, all the comments, all the feedback. We appreciate you guys here. Coming up, news, sports, traffic, all of that good stuff. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Everybody be asking my 6th album, my last. I'm super sick of this business. My daughter